This conference will now be recorded.
We'll hit the gavel. Good evening. I am Steve Knight, Chair of the Rhome Planning and Zoning Commission. It is 6 p.m. on Monday, September 14th, 2020. I will call this special meeting of the Rhome Planning and Zoning Commission to order. This meeting is being conducted via video and telephone conference per the governor's office. I will now call roll to establish my quorum. Please answer with your name and present. Commissioner Steve Knight, present. Commissioner Ashley Majors.
Ashley Majors, present.
Thank you. Commissioner Christy Nairn.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas Cannon.
Thomas Cannon, present.
Thank you. Commissioner Robert Coleman.
Robert Coleman, present.
Thank you. Alternate number 1, Commissioner Christy King.
Christy King, present.
Welcome and thank you. And alternate number 2, Commissioner Joanne Wilson.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum. At this time, I would like to call on Mr. James Donovan, our city attorney for this evening's meeting, for any remarks he might have. Mr. Donovan?
Thank you, Chairman. I was asked to cover 2 points that have been brought up kind of throughout the day to me. First and foremost, we want to acknowledge that on the mailed notice that was sent out to the people that were within the area to receive that notice, there was a error. There was a transposition of numbers on the zip code for the Rhome City Hall. And we've had some questions as to whether that impacts the validity of the notice. And to state this clearly, it's the opinion of the city attorney's office that that is not a fatal error, that the notice that was sent out was legally sufficient. Those type of typos are not been held by courts to be fatal. All of the addresses that were supposed to be mailed to were correct. The legal description of the property and the zoning case were correct within the notice. So that simple transposition of numbers is not going to affect the notice, and we're going to proceed on the case tonight. The other thing that has been brought out is a question about conflicts of interest in regard to members of the Planning and Zoning Commission that own property within 200 feet of the zoning change, people that would have received notice under this zoning case. And it is the opinion of the city attorney, Mr. Carvin Atkins, that the members of this commission that were in that 200-foot buffer do have a conflict of interest. And it's the recommendation of the city attorney's office that those members recuse themselves. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Donovan. At this time, public presentations and input. The commission is not permitted to take action on or discuss any presentations made to the commission at this time concerning an item not listed on the agenda. The commission will hear comments on specific agenda items during this designated time. Request form must be filled out and submitted via email to City Secretary, City of Rhome, prior to 4 p.m. to be recognized. At this time, I'll refer to Shannon Montgomery, our City Secretary. Do we have any public presentations?
No, sir. Everything that we have received will be for public hearing.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to our regular agenda, old business. Item A, discussion and any necessary action regarding the minutes of August 10th, 2020, Planning and Zoning Commission Special Session Meeting. And I would ask that, has everybody had a chance to look those over, and do they see any changes that need to be made?
No.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion?
No. A second.
And state your name.
Christy Nairn.
Christy Nairn, second. Thomas Cannon made the motion. I'll once again go down the line and poll one at a time. If you just state your name and whether you're for or against. Commissioner Steve Knight, for. Commissioner Ashley Majors.
Ashley, for.
Commissioner Christy Nairn.
4.
Commissioner Thomas Cannon.
Thomas Cannon, 4.
Commissioner Robert Coleman.
Robert Coleman, 4.
Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, item B, public hearing. Rome Planning and Zoning Commission to conduct a public hearing to consider a rezoning request by property owner representative Sean Shahahi, sorry if I didn't do that justice, of legal property located on Holly Parkway, Rome, Texas, legally described as 3.467 acres, subdivision BC Rome Edition. This request is to change the current zoning of retail to the proposed zoning of planned development. It is now 6:05 PM on September 14th, 2020. I will open the public hearing on agenda item B. Anyone wishing to make a public comment that has submitted their comments to the city secretary for the city of Rome before 4 PM today, please direct your comments towards the commission and provide relevant factual information which is pertinent to this application by stating your name and address, and our city secretary calls on you one at a time. As this is a public hearing for the purpose of allowing the public to voice any concerns and comments and whether they are for or against this request and reasons thereof, the members of the commission will not be responding to any statements or questions. Also, we will limit all comments to 3 minutes each for the purpose of maintaining the fluency of this meeting. Thank you all. I will now defer to our city secretary, Shannon Montgomery. Take our first speaker. Please state your name and address.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm going to first read the responses that we received either by mail, by email, or drop off at City Hall. And then those that have requested to speak on their behalf, I will call on those. First one we received was M&H Food Mart, and they were in favor of the proposed request. Comments were, I think this will bring different options for housing in the area rather than just single family housing. It will definitely bring variety of housing in the area. Second one received was from Shen West Shen LLC, which is also the Rome Pharmacy, and they are in favor of the proposed request. The next couple are ones that people asked to speak on their behalf. The first one was Deborah Beecraft. Ms. Beecraft, are you on the phone? Okay, she didn't make it. She was opposed. She did have comments, but I can't make those for her. The next one is Patricia Mitchell. Miss Mitchell, are you on the phone? Miss Mitchell? Okay, her form did say she was opposed. The next one is Shirley Mize. Ms.
Can you
Mize?
hear me?
I'm sorry, who is that?
Hello?
Who is this?
This is Patricia Mitchell.
Okay, yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead and start.
Okay. Is it okay? Can I go?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Patricia Mitchell. I live at 389 South Old Mill. I do have some comments about this. Despite public opposition and concerns, planning and zoning appointees recommended the Moore Street Apartments project to council twice. Old Town homeowners finally hired a private attorney who also represented the heirs to the property that former Mayor David Wilson sold off by sworn affidavit in the deal. Former city administrator Joe Ashton confirmed the disputed single-family zoning. Planning and zoning chairman Steve Knight addressed council September 26, 2019. In quotation from the city minutes,
Patricia?
he felt that it was not the council's responsibility to fund the relocation of the Bywell utility poles to be underground. Bywell Estates has been zoned.
I need you to stay on item on hand.
I am. I'm getting to the point, sir. Bywell has been zoned a planned development district since 1996. The city's ordinance stipulates underground utilities. These examples demonstrate serious lapses in the recommendation of planning and zoning. Also, appointees that have adversely impacted Rome homeowners. Love's Travel Stop has been zoned a planned development district since 2010. I oppose the currently proposed zoning change from retail to planned development district. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Shirley Mize, are you on the phone?
Yes, I'm
here.
Okay, start when ready.
Okay. This is Shirley Mize. I'm at 170 Russell Street in Rome, Texas. And I'm speaking on the rezoning legal property located at Holly Parkway in Rome, Texas, legally described as 3.467 sub BC Rome addition from retail to planned development. The planned development district, the purpose and intent of the planned development district is to encourage the design of more complete and sustainable environment consistent with the town's small town character through the application of integrative approaches to community design that allows and encourages mixed uses, design flexibility, pedestrian-oriented development, and interconnectivity among uses, sensitivity to the nature, environment, and natural features, and the coordination of the development with the adequacy of public facilities. My concern is with this city zoning and them changing it to a planned development, have we got the restrictions in hand and the conditions to follow this place in rezoning? Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. That was all for this public hearing. So now I would like to take the time to introduce Sean Sahihi, the applicant for this proposed request.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So basically, my plan is for the zoning of this is to provide townhomes as well as retail to the city of Rome. So they would have more diversity, more mid-dense type of housing available, which is mentioned several times in the conceptual plan of Rome. And I think it'd be a very good job in that area because it's really close to the downtown district that y'all plan on making, and accordingly. And it's going to be more towards houses that are low maintenance and an option for more busy professionals and young families moving to the city. As you can see from the plan, we have left the corner right by Dollar General to be retail, and then the rest of it we would ideally fit about 37 townhomes. So if y'all have any questions regarding this, please let me know.
Robert Coleman's here.
Just a minute, Bob.
I'm sorry.
We'll get to our section in the next item agenda.
Okay.
Right now, we're in the public hearing and it's for the public, so give us just a moment here. Shannon, do we have any other speakers?
No, sir.
Okay. If we have no more speakers, it is 6:14 p.m. I will close the public hearing. We shall move on to regular agenda new business item C. Discussion and any necessary action regarding a recommendation to council regarding a rezoning request by property owner representative Sean Sahihi of legal property located on Holly Parkway, Rome, Texas, legally described as 3.467 subdivision BC Rome addition. This request is to change the current zoning of retail to the proposed zoning of planned development. At this time, I defer to our city administrator, Cynthia Northrup, with our staff and engineering reports and recommendations. Cynthia?
Thank you, Chair. we set out an agenda commentary on this item, and on that, I just wanted to call to the commissioners' attention that a planned development was designed. If you look, it's section 29 in our zoning ordinance, to permit new or innovative concepts in land utilization that's not permitted by other zoning districts in Rhome's ordinance. So while it promotes greater flexibility, there's a lot of different uses that can occur within a planned development. The applicant must submit a conceptual plan. So they need to narrow down how they're going to use that land. We'll see from the conceptual plan that you guys can see, and I can zoom in on that if you'd like.
Yes.
The applicant, Mr. Sahihi, has submitted that conceptual plan, and that shows that there are several townhomes on there, and the corner right now is reserved for retail. While the detailed
Will you
site
zoom that
will be
in for me?
included, if you guys, we're getting a lot of feedback, so if you're not talking, if you can please mute your mics, that would be appreciated, so we're not getting that background noise. So while a detailed site plan will still be required, and that's going to include things like a drainage study and other things, we have the staff, including the engineer, has met with the applicant and has reviewed the conceptual site plan. When you look inside our ordinance and some of the criteria that P&Z members should look to on determining whether or not they would support a zoning change, some of those things include looking to is it in alignment with the comprehensive development plan? Is it compatible with the uses that are surrounding the area? So those are some of the things that you should look to. The comprehensive development plan does speak to the fact that Rome wants to provide diversity of housing. And so this fulfills that goal. Some other items that will be raised and will be addressed in the detailed site plan will be things like traffic, utility easements, fire lanes, fire movement, radiuses for movement for fire trucks. So those will be things that would follow in a detailed site plan. I think right now, if there's other questions to address, we can do that right now. The council, the commission has a couple of options. You can recommend approval of this conceptual site plan as is. You can recommend denial of the site plan as is, or you can present some options. You can recommend approval with changes. So for instance, there are several ways you could break this down. If you see the site plan here, if you look on the south side of Holly, the last two rows of townhomes, that would be, there's 4 in each row, and that would be a total of 8. So you could increase the retail on that corner to go all the way back to this line right here, which is basically the back of Dollar General. It would correspond to the back of Dollar General. And that would leave about 28 units in the rest of the site plan, north and south of Holly Parkway. I'm just stating some potential options. You all are free to make those determinations. Another option could be that maybe you want this entire south section of south of Holly Parkway to be retail. So that entire section south of Holly Parkway would be retail. And so you would increase that retail by that much. And what is north then of Holly Parkway would be the townhomes, and that would be a total of 19. townhomes. So that would be another option. So those are pretty much the actions that you all are free to deliberate. Chair Knight?
Okay, thank you very much, Cynthia. At this time, we as a Planning and Zoning Commission are tasked to make recommendations to our city council on changes to our zoning ordinances. The item before us this evening is to change the zoning on this property from retail only to a planned development that would consist of both retail and townhomes. And like the city administrator spoke, we kind of have some options there. We have three options to move on. One of them would be to recommend to deny this request to the council. We have the option of recommending to allow the request as presented. And we have we can recommend to allow this request with any changes we would like to see on it. Those are our three options. So with that, I'm just going to start out with my own thoughts, which, looking at our new comprehensive plan we spent so much time on and now have in hand in book form. The city of Rome, we have a land use assumption map in that plan. Conceived by those who participated in the creation of said plan, it shows this area of town could support becoming a combination of retail and residential medium density. My views would be to support perhaps an equal split of retail and townhomes, such as moving lots 6 and 7 to be all retail. I think I'm referring to one of the maps in our packet that has some blue writing on it. That would kind of give us a lot more retail. Now, I am not a developer, so I can't speak as to the whether this is a doable request or not. But it just looking at the area and the retail that is there and the way it's situated, that looks like a nice thought to me. And so I just brought that up. We also, it would keep the retail along the main street of town and supply plenty of room for different forms of retail. My only concern is looking at it is the only retail space we've got available doesn't look to be very large. I don't know that it would even support perhaps a restaurant or what. I can't quite see exactly the square footage, but then that wouldn't do me much good. I don't know how much a restaurant needs. But those are my thoughts on what I think might be a really nice area of town with the townhomes. I'll open it up to the rest of the commission here. The seated commission, excuse me. Mr. Coleman, I think you had a question on this.
On the retail portion of it, what type of retail is envisioned for that front portion of it? Do we have any ideas about that?
We can defer to our city administrator. She might be able to answer that better.
Or is it just
Mr. Sahihi, I would ask you to, I think he has talked to several. I mean, I've suggested a coffee shop.
Yeah, it could be something small, like most likely a small coffee shop, or even a very, very small like strip center that fit like really two pretty small stores.
Okay, something similar to like the Mr. Jim's area, that's type of a
Yeah,
strip center. Okay.
A little bit like that. Maybe it'd be a little bit smaller, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Ashley. Okay, below on the retail, how many retail spots are you looking to put underneath the townhomes?
There are
on the Holly Parkway. What I wish we would have gotten this in our packet. So
no, there's no retail underneath the townhomes themselves. There's a garage. Each townhome has a garage on the bottom.
Okay.
Floors.
So, but there's, if where he was wanting to put retail, where would, so just, that's only going to be retail?
Right here on the, as it's shown is right here on the corner.
Mm. So the rest of it would be townhomes. Okay, so how many, so you're just looking, thank you for expanding it for me. So what is the square footage on that for retail? What is the square footage?
It's marked as 14,000.
Only 14,000 square feet for retail?
Yes. This is a conceptual. I just wanted to hear y'all's feedback, and we'll make something work.
I mean, that is very small for a business. I mean, you couldn't, that's not even for two businesses. Being running businesses and everything, I couldn't see it. Two coffee shops being in there. I would like to see more retail spots going down, Holly. I mean, we in the town, that's what we talked about in the comprehensive study when I was a part of that committee. We need more businesses and less of the multifamily. That's what we are trying to get away from and bring in more retail. So I'm just, would like to see more retail going down on that Holly Parkway, and maybe seeing if you could do something below and maybe put townhomes above. And I'm looking at the chapter 29 or whatever, page 78. What are your townhomes? What are you like? What are your townhomes like? Can you tell us anything about what you're wanting to build?
So yeah, they should be about 2,000 square feet, and the bottom floor will be like a garage, and then there'll be 2 floors above it, and then most of them should have like a small garden in the back.
Okay.
I haven't like spoke with the architect quite yet, but like I would ideally like to kind of match the aesthetic of the city, kind of get a stone with it.
Or like an Austin stone? Like, what is your facade that you're wanting to do?
I haven't decided quite yet, but yeah, something like that, and I'm open to suggestions of how y'all would like to see it look as well. Because yeah, it's modern is nice, but I don't know if it'd be like a good match for this.
No, I'm just asking you. I'm up for more retail. I think we need more retail downtown. I would like to
Okay.
boutiques,
Yeah.
restaurants, a coffee shop. 14,000 square feet. It's not going to be desirable for a business to open up. In another small downtowns and everything around the metroplex and everything. That's
Okay.
bring a little diner in or anything. So.
Commissioner Christy Naren, your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out of down Holly Street, that whole section, isn't it kind of a slope area anyway?
Yes.
That little area. So my thought is I would rather it be to change this to where the development of those townhouses to be on lot 12 and maybe a lot 11 and 9 and 11 back behind where the post office and stuff is at. Because I'm open for this being all retail because we've already got retail there. And if we go and we put townhomes in there and we don't know the development of any of those, the construction of none of that going in, I mean, I'd rather just keep that back portion as townhomes.
Okay.
So to be clear, you guys are, and I know it's in your packet and I didn't include this on the map. Can you guys see my cursor on the map?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Steve, you had mentioned lot 6 and 7 Just
Yes,
for
and it encompasses everything along Holly to the south.
for clarity's sake, everything south of Holly here is 6 and 7. So right here is 6 and 7 is the corner, basically. Okay. And then Christy, you mentioned lots 9 and 11, and those are basically north of Holly.
Mm-hmm.
So that is this area up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as I understand it, again, just correct me if I'm wrong, and for clarity's sake, Christy and Steve so far have said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Am I understanding that correctly? Keep
Yes.
the townhomes up here north of Holly and keep everything south of Holly retail.
Yes. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, we haven't heard from Mr. Thomas Cannon.
Just point me in the right direction here. Where's the Dollar General? So I'm looking
Right
at this. Road. So that's the Dollar General. This is the road that goes through. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got my bearings. And I'll agree with that. Yeah, 6 and 7 should definitely be retail. I don't see townhomes going in there. It slopes down. It's property. Surrounded. I don't think that would look good, even look good there.
Do we have any more comments from Mr. Sahai? I'm sorry, go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, sorry. I agree. I'm agreeing with you and Christy. Sorry, I'm like pointing at my screen. But yes, with it keeping on Holly Street, right there, keeping all retail and then keeping the townhomes in the back behind the Dollar General. Yes, thank you for your cursor. Cynthia, I appreciate it. But yes, so if you could keep the townhomes in the back and I think keeping the retail, and then I was, if you did have 2 coffee shops, 1,400 square feet, I did think about it. And yes, you could do 700 square feet. It is going to be small, but that would be just a tiny little boutique is what you could do with 700, square feet, but that would be very minimal. But if we could have something larger and maybe do a restaurant there, that would bring businesses. And I think right off the freeway in a new development would be very desirable. That's my input. So
Thank you, Ashley. We'll turn this back to Mr. Sahai for any more additional comments on our thoughts. Tell us if any of that is workable at all, or
yeah, that's workable. Yeah, I definitely agree. We could possibly do a little bit more retail. Are you saying, but ideally you would like the whole bottom of Hollis to become retail?
Holly Parkway and everything
Yeah.
south.
Yeah, ideally you're wanting the whole thing to be retail. Okay, I don't.
Just that section. I like the looks of the retail on the back end up behind Dollar General. That's going to be real attractive.
I got you.
but quick question, where would parking be? If we did make all of Holly retail, where would you put parking?
That would really probably come in on any kind of a site plan, and there would have to be ordinances on that would take care of those kinds of changes. Like he said, these are all going to have their own garage. They're going to be more or less, I guess, 3-story.
Yes.
2.5.
No, I'm talking about, parking. Yes, you need parking for your townhomes and guests and everything. But then if you did retail down Holly, I guess you would just do off-street parking. Kind of like.
Yeah, either an inlet of sorts or possibly a small, but I'm sure the city has a code where how many square feet to how many spots you need, and we'd have to go according to that.
Yes, like other small downtown area parking, yes, is limited and it's the off street. Yes, I'm understanding.
Would there be enough parking even for the residential portion of it? 'Cause, I mean, if you have one car garage, many people have two cars, and even with the South Holly Parkway plan for retail, it only leaves about 10 parking spots for the north side of Holly for the residential.
Yeah. So the little squares are for parking, but they're like a parking lot. It should fit about 2 per each one of those.
Oh, so those aren't individual stalls. Those are
No,
okay.
that'll be like a whole lot.
So where the cursor is right now, that'd be 8 parking spots.
I believe so. Let me see. I'm not like 100%, but yeah, it's not just one.
Okay, so that would be my concern is like
Yeah.
if there's not enough parking spots, then you have cars parking all over the street and everything. Holly appears to be only 30 feet wide, so you could potentially have people parking up and down that street, or in the Dollar General parking lot, or in the other businesses parking lots. So that would be my concern, is that the residential portion has enough parking spaces outside of the garages too.
Yeah, because some of these cars might not fit in the garage either. So yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Two points of clarification, Sean. On the townhomes themselves, is it a tandem garage or just one car garage?
It'll be 20 foot wide, so it could fit 2.
Not
Compact.
wide, but length.
Oh, you mean depth?
Yeah, tandem is.
Oh, yeah, tandem. Sorry, no.
I'm asking the question. I don't know.
I'm not too sure exactly. Yeah, tandem. No,
Okay.
I just know it'll be about 20 foot wide.
Yeah, tandem I think is where you can park 2 cars in the garage head to tail. Correct?
No, I don't. I don't think that would. I don't think so. No.
Okay.
The other point on this retail corner, existing, what you're showing, is that 14,000 square feet or 1,400? It says 14,000 square feet.
That's probably lot
14,000.
size, right? That's
Yes.
lot size, including parking.
So our engineer just did a quick review, and it appears that, I mean, just on a Google search, an average size of a fast food restaurant building is less than 5,000 square feet. And of course, that doesn't include the parking lot. So a 14,000 square foot, you might be able to fit the building and the parking in that, but that's for this area right here. Now, of course, if you made the whole thing retail, then that's going to allow more parking. And it may be depending on who you're having design that. And this is the question that would happen in a detailed site plan. What we're doing here today is in a plan development, because it does allow that flexibility. You have to narrow it down to, okay, we're going to have, so you guys have already been talking about, this will be the townhomes here and on the south side of Holly. Seems like with the conversation, that would be retail. The applicant, Mr. Sahihi, would need to come back then with a detailed site plan addressing some of the questions that are coming up right now. You have strip centers that are out there where you have a big row of buildings they're all connected, and there's several different businesses within those. And then the parking is here on the front half. The building sits on the back half, and the front half is parking. So that's, I mean, I'm not a designer. I'm just saying there's options there. Especially in the whole south of Holly Parkway retail. But that would be those questions that you all are bringing up are great questions that will be addressed in a detailed site plan and would be required to be addressed by the applicant.
Okay, so Sean, I would just ask, would something like that be doable with the Holly Parkway being kind of the dividing line between our townhomes and our retail area? You think, would that work for you perhaps?
I mean, I'm not the final sayer of this. I have a partner as well who unfortunately couldn't make it to this meeting, so I have to go back and kind of discuss with him some things. But yeah, I do not think he would. I think he might be good with, like, if we were like the dollar, that line in between, I think would be something that would work. But I need to probably show y'all visually what could all fit better.
So if you did this line, I'm just gonna guess here, but if you did
Yeah,
this line
I
equal to the back of dollar,
yeah,
if this is 14,000 square feet, I mean, this is at least 14,000 square feet. It's a little
yes,
bit bigger. And so,
yeah,
and then you would still have, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units.
yeah,
Well, is that a unit here? On the
yes,
south side of Holly.
yes.
I just have some other questions on here. I don't see like, but I guess when you come back with other drawings and stuff, but I don't see anything for like your landscaping, any other design for like where's your dumpster at and everything. Cause I'm still looking over like page 79. I'm going through the book here.
Yeah, the
Um,
dumpster is a good question.
so I'm
Well,
just
that would
looking
be
over the
addressed in a site
design.
plan.
Which I understand is the rest of the site plan, but I'm just, it's few concerns because that's fitting a lot of townhomes in a small area. And if it's a retail and, you know, in this little bitty area, and I've been down this road before with another development, so I'm just concerned what we're trying to fit in, which
Okay.
I'm up for the retail. Um, and trying to get in, like I said, the boutiques and the restaurants and everything. I'm just concerned with the parking. So,
Yes.
and I'd like to see anything that goes in. I'm all for bringing in, you know, shrubs and trees and making a green space as well.
Okay.
Well, once again, I'll state that this is just a conceptual plan
Yep.
to get a change in zoning from this retail and making it a planned development. It is just conceptual. We just need to decide on what kind of a recommendation we're going to pass on to our city council. And like I say, we have the three options. We can recommend to deny this request altogether. We can recommend to allow this request as presented, and we can recommend to allow this request as presented with changes.
I recommend with changes.
Okay, and Cynthia, how explicit do we need to be in the changes we would like to make on this so we can make some kind of a motion perhaps?
Yeah, you need to be fairly specific. So if you're, some of the changes we talked about would be south of Holly. All south of Holly would be retail, which is lot 6 and 7. And this would be north of Holly, which is 11 and 9 would be townhomes. Or the other one you talked about was taking this line at the back of Dollar General all the way south. So, and from that line east over to Main Street here, would the front of the property would all be retail. And then these townhomes here that's, you know, would remain west of this line straight down. That would be another, you know, so those are the, you know, two options that you guys have discussed. So you do need to make a motion for a concept plan and be that specific.
Okay, thank you.
Your concerns, and Ashley, to your point, I mean, yes, you want, if there are other things that you all concerns of that you want to let Mr. Sahihi know, excuse me, I mean, by all means, we know they'll be addressed in the site plan, but please feel free if there's other comments, I mean, that you would share those now. So he's here.
I'm not sure if this is a, I don't know, I guess an appropriate question at this time, but I would like to see previous work where these, if these townhomes have been built somewhere else, or what the development is, or, how they look, that type of stuff. I mean, if he's ever done this before in another town.
Yes. I personally haven't done it myself, but I've been alongside of doing other projects, like I've done shopping centers and storage facilities. I haven't exactly done a condo yet, but my partner, he's built several and helped build several in Louisville.
And do we know who your partner is?
Yeah, I can send you all his info.
Is there like a townhome that you're modeling after?
Not necessarily, no. I sent Cynthia a link of kind of examples of pictures around DFW I've taken. But yeah, something like that.
Can everybody see what we've got on the screen now?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot more green space and a lot more parking than what we're seeing the concept. And yeah, I know this is a concept and everything, but I would like to, make sure that we're not trying to squeeze in a bunch into one space.
And also, is that by retail? Is there retail that is beside these condos that are here?
Yeah, it looks like on this other side of that wall. Yeah.
But is that an area that's being built up, or is that an area that has been there for a long period of time? Because you do have certain areas in cities where you have a old, and then you've got a new section.
Well, this is, okay, so this is the city of Carrollton.
Okay.
If anybody's familiar with the city of Carrollton, right here is Josie. Okay. This would be north, and this would be south. So these were built, this was already, all this retail here. Josie and Keller Springs is a major intersection in the city of Carrollton. Probably not a good example. I just know where these were. I'm not sure, Sean, I'm sorry. I'm not sure I got that link. I will look for it. There's, if you, I mean, and I just know this area, but if you look at something that Carrollton is doing in their downtown area,
So,
right here, this is an area, here's 35. This is Beltline Road. And there is a lot of, this is a mixed use downtown. This is, Carrollton's downtown area, actually. They've done a lot of development of like townhomes.
Okay.
I will, and those are things, you can bring back definitely more of that detail in that detailed site plan that he would need to submit.
So would it be that we have to make a decision on this today, or could it be that we see something, for future wise before those decisions made?
Well, this is this is a conceptual plan, so you can make the decision on a conceptual plan is what you're making the decision on.
Okay.
I myself, I like the demarcation to be the wall on the back of Dollar General cutting across Holly. That would be my change vote.
Hmm.
Is that,
So give us
Well,
a little better definition of that, Robert. What would you like to really see there?
Okay, so the retail would be on the south side of Holly, from the back wall of the back lot of Dollar General straight down and across would be retail, and the remainder would be residential.
Okay, so more or less splitting Holly both ways between retail and
Right.
these homes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Thomas?
Hmm.
If it's split here at Holly in the middle, so half would be townhomes, half would be retail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what Robert was talking about, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, the front half of that area right there would be about the size of the clinic. That's the Rhome Family Clinic. That's right beside it with parking.
Right. But my question is you're now going to take retail homes and put it right up, townhomes, put them right up against retail, nothing in between. Maybe
Kind of doing that regardless of what you do, right?
well, if we put some green space in there, maybe between the two, may make it look a little better. I think if you just put one next to the other, it's just going to look like a big jumbo mess. If you at least try to separate it with maybe a park or a little green space in between, give it a little bit to separate the two, and then your neighbors
buffer.
Yeah, a buffer. Maybe and a wall, maybe to separate so the people in the retail don't listen to the people in the townhomes don't have to listen to the retail.
Okay.
Well, that would be kind of like what you've got between the Dollar General and the townhomes proposed right behind it, but back up to it.
Yeah.
Right. That looks like what? Is that a street going through? No. Just
this
green.
is, can you see where my cursor was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the line going south. Right here, this is open space. This is a driveway where people would access their garages. This is open space here.
Most likely there'll be because the elevations, there will be a retaining wall.
Okay, so that's like their backyard. Correct.
Yeah.
No,
I think the backyard's considered to be part of the lot size.
Right.
I think the open space is either going to be a driveway or just green area.
Right.
Is that right, Sean?
Yes. But yeah, but if what we decide on, if we cut it there, we'll probably move things around a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, ideally there will be a buffer, most likely some type of wall because of the elevations.
Okay, I have a question.
We can specify that on a later date, right?
Oh.
Doesn't have to be specified right here.
Right.
This is a conceptual drawing.
All right, because if you're modeling over the Carrollton, because I'm familiar with the Carrollton plan, why couldn't you do what they have and do retail all across the bottom and then do the townhomes above it and only do parking on the streets and do it as an apartment style and on those and then keep the townhomes directly behind the Dollar General? And so we can maintain the retail all down Holly Street. If that's what you're modeling after on the Carrollton plan, which if that's what you want to maintain, I am with Thomas on the hand of keeping the green space since we are on this whole parks, of bringing in parks and the walkable, playing
Pocket
and
parks. Yeah.
Yes, I love the little parks. I mean, that's what your whole downtown, what draws your younger generation to it. They want to have the lights and, the little bitty sitting area. But I want to see the retail below it. And then, so, I mean, I'm, again, maybe going back to the drawing board and seeing some different things. I mean, I know that right now this is just, but this is I'm going to ask you a question that's not, you don't have to answer it, but like, what is your price range that you are wanting to present this at here
Somewhere probably like 220 to 240, 250.
for the residents?
Yes. And yeah, we'll be selling them. We're
Oh,
not
you
trying
will
to
be
create.
selling it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. I thought you were,
Yeah.
okay,
No, we'll be selling. So it'll
wonderful.
be all residents and yeah.
Okay.
No, most of them, selling. I might even live in one.
Hey, that's great. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Glad you'll be a part of our neighborhood. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hey, that anything else that, since you are selling them, anything else that'll make them desirable, with the new developments all going around us. So, what else we can do?
Okay, any other commissioners want to chime in here on where we're seem to be heading? Then I would entertain somebody's motion.
Motion to accept with changes.
Okay, those changes being
Need to be
taking
Splitting
specific.
splitting down the Dollar General open space area.
So the retail would be straight down that line and over to the east. That would all be retail. And then this would be townhomes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does that make us enough of a motion to second on? Is that specific enough?
Yes.
Go ahead again. Say that again. I'm sorry.
I was just asking if that was enough of a motion for Mr. Coleman to make a second on and proceed with a vote. And I was sure that it is.
But I don't know if I'm going to vote or not for or against. So could you say again what it was?
Okay, Cynthia, can you repeat that again then?
Yeah, go ahead, Cynthia.
Well, it's my understanding your motion was to make a recommendation to council for the conceptual plan for this PD that the retail would take the line south from Dollar General all the way across the property, which is right here, and all the way east to Main Street. That would all be retail. So you're essentially taking out 8 townhomes right here. This is 8 townhomes. And you're leaving in all the rest of this, north and south of Holly. West of this line south would be townhomes. And that's here. And then what's up here?
Okay, and I believe, Thomas, you were going to second that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I do have a motion and a second. We shall go down the line. Commissioner Steve Knight, I'm for that. Commissioner Ashley?
Not against.
You're against?
Yeah, I want to see it go all the way down.
Commissioner Christine Aaron?
Can I be undecisive?
Well, we really kind of need to send this on to council.
I honestly prefer it to split in the back portion lots to be the townhomes. not
Well, we
split
have
down
a
the
motion.
middle.
We have a
Nay.
motion to make the change that we have on.
No.
You're against?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cannon?
For?
For?
Yes, sir.
And Commissioner Robert Coleman?
Robert Coleman, 4.
4. That makes it 3, 4, and 2 against. That motion passes. We will pass that on to City Council. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right.
Okay. We have, make sure I'm on the right page here. We have another public hearing this evening. Public hearing, item D, Rhome Planning and Zoning Commission to conduct a public hearing to consider amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance, section 33A, OTR, Old Town Rome, by renaming section 33A to Downtown District and amending the boundaries of the proposed downtown district. It is 7:01 p.m. I will open the public hearing portion.
This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry.
I would suggest that the commissioners all mute their mics. This is the public hearing portion.
Here, I'm not sure what happened there. It says it's still recording. So, but did you guys hear that message?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask our attorney, I mean, it says it's recording. I'm not sure why I even heard that. So I'm going to ask our attorney. James, are you on here?
I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, we gotta take the best information we have, and if our technology is telling us we're still recording, I say we still go until we have indication otherwise. That's really the only. I mean, it says we're recording. I say we keep pushing on, and if we discover later it wasn't recording, I'll figure out what to do then. But right now, if it says we're good, I say we keep pushing through.
Okay. I didn't know. Maybe
we lost Christy, by the way, so maybe we want to wait for her to get back on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do we need a minute there?
Well, it says Christy's talking.
Oh, she's muted. Christy, are you there? Well, I've got a bit more to read while she's trying to get back on. I'm going to continue with that, and then we'll pause again. Anyone wishing to make a public comment that has submitted their comments to City Secretary for the City of Rome before 4 p.m. today, please direct your comments toward the Commission and provide relevant factual comments towards the Commission and information that is pertinent to this application by stating your name and address when our City Secretary calls on you, one at a time. As this is a public hearing for the purpose of allowing the public to voice any concerns and comments, and whether they are for or against this request and reasons thereof, the members of the commission will not be responding to any statements or questions. Also, we will limit all comments to 3 minutes each for the purpose of maintaining the fluency of this meeting. Thank you. I'll now defer to City Secretary Shannon Montgomery to start with our first speaker. Have we got Christy back on, by the way? Christy?
Can you hear me? Okay, are you there? Okay. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, I'm on. You probably, I don't know if you can see me or not, but.
We cannot see you, but we can hear you. If you could speak up a little bit when you speak, it might be better.
Okay, thank you. I apologize.
You're fine. Just like the last public hearing, I'm going to go through and read the ones that we have received, and then I'm going to open it up to those that have asked to speak on their own behalf, and then I'll allow them to speak. So what we have received from was Jackson, Robert, and Jennifer Living Trust. They are in favor of the proposed request. Pamela Kent, she is opposed. Michael and Sharon Casterline, they are opposed. They feel that the name should remain Old Town Rome because we aren't part of, I believe it's Fort Worth. This Old Town Rome deserves to remain because of the history. I can't that anyone would want to change the name to Downtown District. It gives no ID to the city. The Rome Community Library responded and they are opposed. Lewis Godfrey and Rhema Burns Godfrey, their comment was, we are not in support of amending the comprehensive zoning ordinance section 33A, Old Town Rome. We prefer that Old Town Rome be left alone and not be renamed to Downtown District. We do not believe that the residents that live in Crown Point or Ellis Homestead would like to be renamed, and neither do the residents who live in Old Town Rome. Old Town Rome has such an appeal and connection with the history of the city and its past, and the letter we received from the city on the possible renaming was very vague at best. The map online does not even have a legend to see what represents what in the rezoning. After a research on this topic, we find that everything is not adding up. What is really going on here? What else is going to happen along with this name change? Are we going to be under new housing restrictions, rezoning, or guidelines on how we should take care of our property and what we can and cannot do with it? If so, the letter that all the residents who live in the proposed area for renaming was not only vague, misleading, but very deceptive on the mayor and the city council's part. No other important information was provided to us what other hidden changes would take place without our knowledge in the information that was provided in the letter. Also, why are some of the streets in Old Town Rome omitted from the map that was provided with the letter? There are several residential homes on the map as well as businesses that are in Old Town Rome. That is not included in the renaming. Someone didn't do their research properly, or maybe it was intentional to leave them out, or for some reason only the council knows and they are not sharing with us. We do not want Old Town Rome renamed or someone telling us how to live or use our property, because that is what I believe is happening here. An end run around the truth to why the council, and none of them live in Old Town Rome, want to rename Old Town Rome. If the members to the council want a downtown district, they should move to South Lake and leave us in Old Town Rome alone. We like the present name of Old Town Rome, and in the past historical history and value in the name he represents. So we ask you respectfully not to rename Old Town Rome. Thank you for your time. Next received was Jennifer Christine Brewer Smith. She is opposed of the request. No point in renaming this. It's a waste of time and money for a town the size of Rome. It's Rome, not Dallas. Brenda Pellet, she is in favor. Look forward to the completion of the old school project now in process. Shane West Shane LLC, also known as Rome Pharmacy, they were in favor. RBP Catalyst, they are opposed. Deborah B. Craft has asked me to read the following. Neither my husband. Oh, are you here, Miss B. Craft? Would you like to read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Neither my husband nor myself agree with the renaming of Old Town Rome. It is endearing, and we that live in the original part of Rome are proud to do so. This is almost like our city has gotten on the bandwagon of erasing our history that the rest of the country is doing by removing all the statues. It is sad. It is like they do not want anything in this town unless it is new and shiny, flashy, and pretentious. They want it to look like a very wealthy, prosperous town to anyone passing by. They want to take all the charm out of living in a quaint, small town. What is the city getting out of changing the name? Will that allow them to do different things in this area, and if so, what? The homeowners have a right to know what is planned for the future for this area we own homes in. Are they changing the name so they can change the zoning to force us out of our homes? Downtown brings up images of businesses, shops, boutiques, little of which Rome has. Main Street should be the focus of getting businesses, not housing additions. And if you want a business district, then why were the main area of businesses left off the map, not included in the new boundary? Dollar General, H&R Block, Light & Home, Pinnacle Bank, Mr. Jim's Pizza, Dr. Hoover, the liquor store, Redbird, Dairy Queen, and even the post office were not included in the new boundary. That is our shopping area. And right now, that is our downtown district. Even if they do change the name against popular opinion of those who live in the area, how will you ever get us to keep from calling it Old Town? We will never stop calling it Old Town, and we do not want the change. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The next received was Ted Rother. He is opposed to the request, and his comments were, most cities with historical areas call the area Old Town. Downtown district has absolutely no meaning since there is really no downtown. This name change is a really dumb idea, serves no purpose. Whatever is done, the area will always be known as Old Town Rome. The next received was from Henry and Nell Fernandez. They are opposed. Their comments were, why are renaming anything when we don't have a downtown area? It would be a big disappointment to go to a town that has nothing if you are traveling until this town is cleaned up. Rome isn't going to get anything. Leave things alone and start working on things that are needed. The following are people that have asked to speak, so I'm just going to go through the list. Patricia Mitchell, are you on the call?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Please start when you're ready.
Okay. Patricia Mitchell. I did have some comments, but after Louis Godfrey and Deborah Beecraft, I think they kind of expressed many sentiments that I'm hearing. But I do oppose the renaming of Old Town Rome to Downtown District. I too live in the Old Town area, and I think it's lovely. I have always said that when I moved out here, my son was very concerned that I bought in Rome. And I said, you know, when progress catches up to us, I'll be smack dab in the middle of the arts district. Anyway, I do oppose the renaming of Old Town Rome to Downtown District, and I do oppose amending those boundaries. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Gail Rother.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Please start when you're ready.
Yes. My name is Gail Rother. I live at 199 West Morris in Old Town Rome. And I oppose the request. I would like to say, and at first I would like to ask the City Council of Rome, why is there a need to change Old Town Rome's name? As a resident of this community, I ask you to be more transparent with your reason. As far as I have heard, and I have not had anyone say exactly why you want to change it. Yes, I understand that you had a comprehensive plan done, and you paid many, many thousands of dollars for that, but they don't live here. It appears to me to be another issue only which to divide the citizens of Rome. Once again, I see that Old Town In Old Town, we fight for our survival. It seems to be coming back. Also, I would like to bring your attention to Chapter 2 of that comprehensive plan, the section that says community analysis, the 2.1 history of Rome. The last sentence of that section just about says it all. And I quote, they're making reference there to the city being composed of 5 communities, which they list. And this is what the last sentence says. The oldest and most historic homes and buildings are located in the heart of the city, which is known as Old Rome. That pretty much says it all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. The next is Sam Eason. Mr. Eason, are you on the line?
I am. Thank you, Shannon.
Please start when you're ready.
Thank you. I am in favor. I am Sam Eason. I live at 1107 Mount Lane in Rome. This is a personal opinion. I do not represent the views or positions of the City of Rome. Mr. Chairman, would you please review with the commissioners seated and alternatives about the scope and purpose of the term downtown district? This term has been misrepresented to our citizens as a replacement of the names Old Town Rome and Original Rome. The term downtown district is used as a replacement to the zoning reference to the Rome overlay district. The official uses of Old Town Rome and Original Rome will continue and not be changed or renamed. As an example of this confusion, merely listen to the previous presentations illustrates the point. Thank you very much for your time. Sam Eason.
Thank you, sir. Next is Shirley Mize. Ms. Mize, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Start when ready.
My name is Shirley Mize. I live at 170 Russell Street. In establishing the district in the Rome area, I understand that in order to regulate and restrict the locations of trade and industry and locations of buildings erected, construction, altered, and enlarged for specific uses to regulate and restrict the height and bulk of buildings hereafter created, reconstruction, altered, or enlarged to protect and preserve places and areas of historical and cultural importance and significance, to regulate and determine the area of yards and other open spaces, and to regulate and limit the density and population, divided into districts that are grouped in classes for convenience. Some of those districts are like agriculture, community facilities, manufacturing, housing, floodplains. In Rome ordinances, we have basically single family, 2-family residence, multiple family residence, office, neighborhood service, retail, town center, commercial, industrial park, light industrial, agriculture. And in the overlay district, that basically before was a basic district, but in the overlay district, we have planned development, specific use permit, downtown overlay district. The commutative zoning is certain districts allowing residential in certain commercial zones. I asked Steve Knight, in driving your classic car out for an enjoyable venture to where you remember that memorable drive down to a dream town, hey, Rome, Texas, that is called Downtown District. What was the excitement of picking that location of that road trip? Did it mean something or not? Christy King, what reason would you have to want to make the name change to the town that is known for years, Old Town Rome, with historical history, with development coming, not knowing when, and changes need to be made to plan the development? Would you like Rome Downtown District be in your neighborhood? Christy Niren, and I'm not sure I got that right now, I do apologize. Would you want the change to affect you like it will be affecting the citizens of Old Town
Ma'am,
Rome?
your time is up.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next and the last speaker that has signed up is Josh Majors. Mr. Majors, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, start when ready, please.
Okay, thank you. I'm Josh Majors and I live at 200 South Dogwood in Old Town Rome. With growth heading our way, there is an ever increasing appreciation for historic charm of Old Town Rome. With walkable streets and neighbors standing in the streets talking and waving at passing buyers, the younger generation of builders, developers, and visitors alike have an appreciation for walkable streets, architectural detail, and desirable locations of Old Town Rome. We are ready for small boutiques, coffee shops, diners, and that exit sign that says, "Welcome to Old Town Rome," as you're entering or exiting. I'm opposed.
Thank you, sir. That is all I have, Chair Knight. Mr. Knight, you're still muted.
Sorry, I knew I'd do that if I unmuted myself there. Okay, it is 7:22 on September 14th, 7:22 p.m., September 14th, 2020. I'll close the public hearing. We'll move on to our regular agenda, new business, item E, discussion and any necessary action considering a recommendation to council regarding an amendment to the comprehensive zoning ordinance, section 33A, OTR, Old Town Rome, by renaming section 33A to Downtown District and amending the boundaries of the proposed Downtown District. Parts of this agenda were first brought up by the P&Z Commission back in 2018 when we were tasked by the City Council to review the city's zoning ordinances and recommend any changes we need back to them. We as a commission decided to start with the OTR Old Town Rome Ordinance, Section 33A, as a priority and a good place to begin the process of looking at the city's zoning ordinances. We then decided to first go through the process of creating a new City of Rome comprehensive plan, as this would be needed to guide the city in its future. This process wound up taking over a year to complete. With this new plan, which includes ways for the citizens of Rome to participate in, we identified some key projects, one of which was a downtown development plan. I feel that renaming this ordinance to Downtown District with the new boundaries better coincide with this comprehensive plan. I also feel that the term Old Town Rome, so many of us use to refer to the section of Rome that includes our downtown district, it is still a very important term, just as Crown Point is, Bywell Estates is, Chisholm Trail is, Ellis Homestead is, are in describing areas of Rome, but does not best describe what we see in developing just the downtown area. This town will always be Old Town Rome, even to someone like me who's not lived their whole life here. We're not changing the name of the town. We're strictly trying to work on a section of downtown and get it to what everybody's been describing in their comments tonight. Little boutique shops, a good walkable space, well lit, wonderful place to meet neighbors. But in order to do that, through working the comprehensive plan, we are referring to it as a downtown district, which makes more sense when you go to seeing people that want to come in and set up a business here. It's just easier to control. The other point, in fact, is the 2004 ordinance that was created as Old Town Rome had a boundary to it that made absolutely no sense. It had no meets and bounds to it. There wasn't any good description of it, just a map with a dotted line. And we decided as a P&Z way back in 2018 that we needed to probably shrink that down to something we could more define as downtown. In other words, down Main Street and maybe a block off each way somehow. And through that, we all come up with all kinds of ideas, got kicked down the road a lot. We've had all kinds of interruptions to it. And we finally got to this point where we are ready to try and make a recommendation to our city council to make this name change so we can move forward in deciding just how we want this downtown district to look like. And as we do that, we'll have the term downtown district to refer to, and this downtown district will always reside in Old Town Rome. With that, I'll open it up to comments from other commissioners.
Well, I think I will be the first, since I'm very passionate about Old Town Rome, and I am not in favor. I understand that it's going to be that you're saying, and that it's just another district, but no, what if down the road that it's going to be on the street signs, it's going to be on the exit sign, it's going to be downtown district. There's other towns, you know, Keller is Old Town Keller, is their little downtown area for their Old Town, for all of their boutiques. That is what brought the merchants to that town. I have three friends that had boutiques in that area. That's what brought them there. That's what brings people desirable to take their businesses to that area. There's also Burleson, San Angelo, Helotes, and then there's a long list, even in Oklahoma. I've gone through a whole list of doing my research that for small towns, that is what younger generation that look for in builders. They're not looking for the higher density to develop, younger than me, and even not saying my age, but you want to go and walk around the streets, and it is like the townhome, it is like looking at the parks, and I used to run businesses, so I've talked to developers and cities with the main street and the small squares where it's the cuteness of it. You don't want to go and open a business where it's a downtown district. We're not in Fort Worth, and you're going to pass it by. Look at Decatur, what they have changed on their downtown square. And it's a cute little square with very, very desirable businesses that are very popular, that do a lot of, revenue, which I think we can get businesses like that brought into our town once we get, our streets and, things cleaned up, which I argue, about, our code compliance and other things around, around our downtown. That would bring our developers. We do have Rolling V coming in. That would help, but I've made the suggestions about having the for instance in Round Top, about Hinkle Square, having the little cottages with the granite gravel, since we don't have the buildings just yet. We have the old mill. There is somebody that is coming into the old mill. We have that is that area. There's a lot, but people are not going to exit to say a downtown district. It does not roll off your tongue for a little charming town. We need to keep the heritage and the historic charm, and for the old town. It's just not another downtown district. That we have the old town, the the historical district. I'm just think that we need to keep it and not now add another downtown, add another district to our ordinance. So I'm opposed to it. I can go on and on and on.
Cynthia, I would
Okay.
think that if possible, you could give it. Go ahead.
Who's speaking?
Christy.
Oh, okay. I see you on the screen, but I didn't know it was you talking. So yes, you have the floor.
I am for it, to changing it. But I would like for Cynthia to give an explanation so that way everybody's on this same page and there's a more clarification of why it's really being changed.
Okay, we can do that. Cynthia, we'll turn this to you.
Okay, I won't go over all this because, you know, the chair has said some of this, but I do want to remind people, we are discussing a zoning classification, renaming a zoning classification. We're not renaming Old Town Rome. So again, back in 2004 is when Old Town Rome Overlay District, OTROD for short, was created. This is the original map that was used in the ordinance to create the district. You can see it is really not very definitive, but that's what is in the ordinance. So the council had requested P&Z look at updating the zoning ordinance back in 2018. So P&Z started with, it's my understanding that the P&Z started with the Old Town Rome Overlay District as a smaller subset of the ordinance. And in so doing it, they talked about shrinking those boundaries down. And in the last meeting, in a couple of meetings ago, I had a whole presentation of different boundaries that some that you guys discussed, some that you didn't. In 2018, this whole discussion was put on hold for the development of the comprehensive development plan. After the comprehensive development plan was completed in 2019, there were several issues that were identified. One, as a key project, was the downtown district, which is an economic engine, which is really, I think, we're kind of getting caught up in semantics, where I hear us all saying the same thing tonight, that we all value the historical nature of Old Town Rome, and we want to maintain the small town charm of Old Town Rome, which is exactly what the comprehensive development plan talks about doing. They talk of the avenue to do that that's exactly what a downtown district is described as. So in 2020, the P&Z revisited the Old Town Rome Overlay District boundary discussion. You voted to shrink down that boundary and rename again. This is the classification of a zoning classification from the Old Town Rome Overlay District to the Downtown District. This is the boundary of the proposed new old Downtown District, Old Town Rome Overlay District, whatever the P&Z and council determine will be. I think it does need to be clear once again that this is not changing Old Town Rome. Old Town Rome will always be Old Town Rome. And somebody has said it, a couple of people have said it, you will always refer to it as Old Town Rome, as you should. This is a zoning classification. The other comment that was made that I do want to, in the classification district, there are special requirements that apply. So regardless of whether it is named it remains Old Town Rome Overlay District as that zoning classification, or the Downtown District, those requirements that are in our zoning ordinance that were created in 2004 that talk about off-street parking and yard setback requirements and front yard setback, side yard setbacks for garages, those things will remain, and there may be other things that the P&Z, I know Ashley, you have had quite a few ideas that you have brought to the front, and the idea was to start with making sure that we have a definitive boundary for that classification, zoning classification, before we start some of that meatier conversation. I'm going to switch again. This is the right out of the comprehensive development plan as a key project in the downtown development district is the core. It can be a catalyst for new growth and development within the historic heart of the city while emphasizing that character, that unique character and pride. So I've heard some people ask why the change, and I think tonight really demonstrates why, because there's confusion between what is Old Town Rome, what is the Old Town Rome overlay district, and what is the purpose. And so the Old Town Rome overlay district is a mouthful, I know, but it's a zoning classification. So it has specific requirements in the consideration of the unique characteristics of the area. In this case, Old Town Rome is a smaller subset of Old Town Rome. We talked about this, but the additional future elements could include streetscapes and sidewalks and landscaping, signage, special consideration for historical features of buildings. That would be in that zoning classification, whether it's Old Town Rome Overlay District or Downtown District. So again, it's really how are we going to define the Old Town Rome Overlay District as a whole, okay? So how do you, a downtown district is synonymous with history of the area, the unique characteristics of the area. I have not lived here as long as a lot of you have lived here. But one thing I've noticed is, for example, some of the brick that was used in a lot of the houses. Ashley, your house is indicative of that unique brick. So that might be a development standard that you guys would discuss within whatever that zoning classification is, whatever you guys determine. Those might be some of those things. A downtown district does make you eligible for potential alternative funding that is out there when you've designated a downtown district. It does serve as an economic engine because, as you all have stated, you don't want to be a Fort Worth, you don't want to be a Dallas. We've got a development going on south of 287. And Old Town Rome needs something that will be a draw, which is economic development, which the comprehensive development plan talks about, that will be a draw that is unique to Old Town Rome. And this downtown district could serve as that catalyst for that unique historical nature of Old Town Rome. So it can accommodate, it can enhance tourism by local efforts, that mixed use that is typical in these small cities downtown core.
So
I just think it's really important, I'm sorry, I think it's really important to recognize we're talking a zoning classification, not renaming Old Town Rome.
So if it stayed Old Town Rome, you said there was economic benefits to that. Can you further explain that? Yeah, with the name change to the downtown district, can you explain why you would have economic benefits?
Yeah, because when well, first of all, there are alternative, like for a Main Street program or a downtown district, there can be some alternative funding, grant funding that could be available to help all of those things. How you define that downtown district, a streetscape. Is it going to have walkable areas? Are we going to have sidewalks? Is there going to be landscaping in that area? Those are all
even if it's had the same boundaries and we defined it as Old Town Rome, you would not get those benefits. Is that what you're saying here, or is it? I'm trying to grasp about the.
Old Town Rome is larger than this area. This is a
Right,
smaller.
but why could we? Sure, but why couldn't we leave Old Town Rome as the name there and just with those boundaries?
You definitely can. I think when people hear a downtown district, they think of an historical older part of a small town.
Mhm.
I mean, somebody talked about cataloging different people that go to different areas.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that. When I think of a downtown district, I think of a place that shuts down at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday through Fridays, and everybody goes. That's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Well,
You
and
know,
that's
sorry, Cynthia, go ahead.
But on the other hand, if sometimes just be forewarned. On the other hand, if you say old something, that could also have negative connotations too. With everything that's going to be developing around us, Old Town Rome could have a negative connotation too if we don't develop it properly.
well, to your point, is how you define it. It is you're creating that area. But again, we are not talking about renaming Old Town Rome. We're talking about renaming a classification, zoning classification within the zoning ordinance.
Mhm.
And if you all want to keep it an Old Town Rome overlay district, I mean, that's certainly an option.
I'm with like what Ron said, why can't we keep it? I mean, I travel and go to little towns and large, and just like you even said for downtown Carrollton, it has that square that started as a small little square and went, grew into a larger, downtown district. And that's what it is. It's a downtown district. That's what you think of. But that's not what we are. So we want the walkable streets, the charm, and unless you're trying to, I mean, the downtown, are you trying to get grants or something for the main street that where the old city hall is? What are you, why are we changing it? Or wanting to change it, I guess.
I think what they're saying, Ashley, is that the Old Town Rome is larger than this area here, and they're trying to better define it as the downtown district. That way, for zoning and whatnot.
And it's been said multiple times, the name of the town is not changing. It's still going to be Old Town Rome. It's just the zoning part of it, classification is what's going to be changed. That's the only thing. Yes, I understand the boundary has changed, but it's the name. So it's not, I mean, to me, it's not, we don't go into Keller and say, we say this is Keller. We don't say this is Old Town Keller. You see what I'm saying? We don't do that with Fort Worth. We say it's downtown Fort Worth.
Well, and I'll chime in on that point. If we have a Old Town Rome overlay and we go to some businesses or some avenues where we get some people that want to maybe come in here and look and do something, and we just say Old Town Rome, they're going to kind of wonder where that's at. Whereas if they're the type of business that wants to be on a main street in town that everybody's walking up and down, that's going to be to them a downtown district. And it's going to be the downtown district of Old Town Rome. That's really the only thing about this name change. I am just really, I understand everybody's passion. And I do want to apologize for giving my little spiel before letting Cynthia talk. That was not right. I got messed up on my itinerary, listening to all the comments and thinking about those real seriously. And we're just all of us missing the point here of what we're trying to do and control. We're just trying to get a zoning classification changed from Old Town Rome Overlay District to just Downtown District, and that Downtown District is always going to be within Old Town Rome. So when we go out to businesses or businesses come to us, we can tell them, we're Old Town Rome. We have a downtown district we're trying to redevelop economically. And this is what our vision is for it. This is where we want to go with it. And we're calling it our downtown district, but it lies within Old Town Rome. That's my whole thought behind this whole process. And since 2018, I thought that's what, as a P&Z, we were always talking about. And we decided we were tasked with this, going through the zoning ordinances, and we all decided, or I kind of talked everybody into picking a spot in town, working through that zoning district, getting our processes down so we can move on to other areas of town and do the same thing. And we'd have a pretty good map and guideline on how to do that. With so much information out there, it seems like it's turned into a hornet's nest of renaming the town of Rome, which is not the intent, not the purpose, and not the conclusion of it.
Chair,
for listening.
I think there was somebody that needed to, that was going to recuse themselves, and you were going to seat someone else.
I do have one recused, didn't I? Mr. Thomas Cannon. He does live within the bound, or within 200 feet of the boundary of the original boundary of Old Town Rome, and he has recused himself, as he should. And with that, I will at this time ask Commissioner Christy King to step in and be a seated member for discussion and any vote we might take. Christy, are you there?
I am.
King?
I am.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I would love to have your comments then.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Well, I would just like to say that I agree completely with Chairman Knight's statement, and I agree with renaming the zoning classification from the Old Town Rome overlay to the downtown district. When I think about small towns, and when I think about the growth that's coming for the past 18 years, I have worked in the town of Roanoke, and I would say that Roanoke is very similar, or it was at the time, was very similar the time that I started working there until now, but it was very similar to what Rome is currently. And I just think that the Planning and Zoning Commission there and the council has been very wise in the way that they have gone about things and prepping for the growth that is coming. We know that the growth is coming, that without a question, it's going to happen. And one of the things that they did was they created a downtown district overlay. And so I do think that this reclassification will be beneficial. I do understand completely what the city manager is saying, that yes, it will help us. It'll open some doors that may not be opened. And I think we are just in a very pivotal point for our city. And I just want to say that I fully support it. I also want to ask the question. I noticed in the packet there was some pictures and things of like street signage and those kind of things. So I'm wondering, and I don't know, Cynthia, I think at some point you provided this for me. Can you see this? Did you see it? These little street signs. So I'm wondering if, I understand that I don't think anybody's ever going to hear the name downtown district. We're not going to talk about downtown district. It's just something that is. For example, I live at 207 Cheyenne Trail North. I don't talk about what lot and what plat that I live on. It's just how we refer to something. And I think we would always refer to Old Town Rome as Old Town Rome. I'm wondering if some of that signage, the street signs, might include a little motif or some kind of something that says Old Town Rome, because I do agree that there's charm and there's history in that. But I think the council and this commission is probably doing the right thing by being forward thinking and moving forward with an attempt at reclassification.
Thank you very much, Christy. That was terrific.
Christy, that was
Okay.
terrific. Can I speak?
Yes, Ashley, you have the floor again.
Christy, that was wonderful. Actually, I lived in Roanoke for many years and actually was the last residential house left on Oak Street. So that being said, if we are going to make it a downtown district, I think that we should only then turn into just making like Roanoke did and only had Oak Street, the downtown district, then later on had it to expand it out. So then put only West First Street, our downtown district. Because I am very, very familiar with Roanoke and how they've made the growth over the years, because I lived there and worked there for many years as well. So what I'm agree with Christy and on some of the points is, with the street signs, are they going to still keep, or that's why I'm afraid of switching it to the downtown district. Are we going to further along lose the Old Town Rome? The things that the city has done, and that's the reason why I'm very passionate, is because there's not been transparency to some avenues that they've taken. So that's the reason why I want to make sure we have the Old Town Rome overlay district instead of bringing in the downtown district, because it could be lost in there. That's the reason why, like Oak Street, Roanoke, they have Oak Street that everybody knows. And in Rome, we need to have the Old Town Rome. And so but why is, if we're doing the downtown district, which Cynthia, which I know you keep saying, it's just the overlay, but why are we keeping it so big if it's just going to be our little main streets? If it's just going to be where the old city hall is there on West Main, then let's just make that the downtown district. If we're, so.
Well, Ashley, you sat in on all our meetings when we were trying to get this condensed down to a workable area, and we followed quite a bit of what your recommendations were. So
I know I have, and I've helped on, putting it into a little smaller area, and I've been passionate about why we've left out some of the lots as well. So of all of us, Steve, I've been very passionate about and why we need to, what we need to change, what we need to do to make Old Town Rome very desirable. Like I said, I just told y'all that I was the last house on Oak Street in Roanoke. So I'm very familiar of that area if any of y'all that go to Roanoke, you can see what that town is. And other cities of other little towns that I've run businesses in, I'm very familiar in what we could be. And I keep saying we need to do this and that and the other. And that's the reason why and I keep saying I'm very passionate about is keeping the Old Town Rome. I don't want to name it the downtown district because I'm afraid of what our city council will do, and we will lose it down the road because what they've done to us in the past. Just like having an apartment rezoning and it wasn't zoned a multifamily, and they tried to put up townhomes and it wasn't that. It was, residential, just like, hey, Steve, I'm speaking about it here or there. I'm just saying that's the reason why.
We need to stay on our task that we're assigned to tonight, actually, if you could. We understand what your feelings are about things, but we need to stay with what's in front of it. We're not talking about other things in front of it. So unless you've got something that strictly pertains to what we're tasked with doing this evening.
No, that's it. You don't have to go any further, but that's it. Thank you, though.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. I haven't heard too much from Mr. Cannon. Oh, I'm sorry, he is recused. I apologize there. Any more comments from Robert Coleman?
Yeah, I think maybe Ashley was hitting on it here, was that, as long as it does not get muddied, the waters don't get muddied as far as what is Old Town Rome, what is the downtown district, is it, I think there's a lot of people that have expressed, what their preference is that actually live in the Old Town Realm area. And, I think that we should take that in consideration too, before we make our decision. Tonight, are we only making our decision about the naming and not the boundaries?
No, we have on our mission here tonight, a agenda item E, discussion and any necessary action considering a recommendation only to the council regarding an amendment to the comprehensive zoning ordinance, section 33A, OTR-Old Town Rome, by renaming that section 33A to downtown district as a zone and amending the boundaries of the proposed downtown district. That's our item we're looking to have some kind of a discussion and perhaps a recommendation to council on. Council has the ultimate choice on this. We are just a working commission giving them information and input. As far as the people's questions keep coming up about signage and all, I think everybody in town would agree that when you're going to go put up signs downtown, you're going to let people know that you're in Old Town Rome. You're not going to put up signs saying this is the downtown district. It's going to be Old Town Rome. It's going to be some historic signs giving people some history of Rome if they want to stop and read a sign. Maybe some little park with a plaque in it or something describing how it got started, what it's been called. We're not gonna rename anything downtown district other than this zoning reference.
How you define, I do want to remind everybody of the actual ordinance that created the Old Town Rome Overlay District. Again, I'm not sure how much clearer I can be, but this is a zoning classification. So when it was originally created in 2004, it says, and this is 33A.1, there is hereby created an overlay district within certain areas of the city which shall be designated as Old Town Rome, and as such herein more particularly described on the attached map, which I showed you guys the map earlier, that it will be the overall zoning ordinance. So some of the things, and this goes into B, again, a zoning classification is for the purpose of setting out special requirements within the zoning ordinance. So right now it talks about off-street parking, rear yard setback requirements, front yard setback requirements. There's 3 more that it talks about. Whatever the name is a zoning classification. So if it's the Old Town Rome Overlay District and you have a definition of how you want to define that to market it as a downtown district, which is what the comprehensive development plan is, then you can do that. You can create the vision around a downtown district. I mean, it could very well if you guys did name it the downtown district or recommend to council and council did, it was the downtown district, I can see how it would become the Old Rome downtown district. It is a subsection of a geographical area that is a zoning classification within Old Town Rome. A downtown district is however we create that vision, which the comprehensive development plan has already done, and we've all talked about it, and I think we're all in agreement. So I just want to make sure that you all are clear. This is a zoning classification.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a motion?
I'm sorry?
May I make a motion?
You certainly may.
I move to rename the zoning classification from Old Town Rome Overlay to the Downtown District.
Second.
And does that also include amending the boundaries as in the item agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I do have a motion to make the change of the classification to downtown district and to amend the boundaries of the proposed downtown district as mapped.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Do I have a second on that?
I second.
Christie,
Christie Meeting, I second.
you have a second on that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We have a motion and a second. We will run a roll call vote on this. We'll start out with Steve Knight and myself. I am for that change. I vote yes. Ashley Majors, if you could just state your name and your vote.
Ashley Majors, not in favor.
I'm sorry?
Ashley Majors, I'm not in favor.
Thank you. Commissioner Christie Narron.
Christie Narron, I'm in favor.
Thank you. Commissioner Robert Coleman.
I'm against Robert Coleman.
And Commissioner Christie King.
I am in favor.
Okay. Thank you. That makes 2 noes and 3 yeses. This action item passes. We'll pass that along to the city council for their discussion. Okay, with that, we'll move on to future agenda items. Are there any future agenda items someone wants to bring up?
I do. I want to bring up signage for downtown. Sorry, I don't have my name in front of me.
Just signage, or I think as we go on, we're going to be discussing a lot of things within our new district. if it comes down to that.
Really, Steve? Come on, we can laugh now. But yeah, for the downtown district, for anything. But yes, signage in general. Sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me. But yes, it is signage for our old town, and then for the old town Rome. And
okay, you might formulate that and go ahead and send an email then to city secretary.
So yes, but it is signage. Signage is on the agenda, and then that's it. Parks was my other one, but we'll just put signage.
Okay, anybody else?
Wayfinding signage or street signs, or what kind of signage are you?
Oh, building signage.
We'll probably need a little bit more information, but okay. I mean, just to make sure we're.
Oh, sorry, I was in my code compliance book and I turned my page on it. Give me just 1 second and I'll turn back to it. I had it tabbed. 1 second.
Is there a certain section of the zoning ordinance you're referring to in the signage?
Sign regulations. So it looks like section 38. Let's just use that one. I think section 38. I think is where it was. Sorry.
Like I say, as you find it, well, you just email that off to city secretary and.
It's 38.
Okay, anybody else? If not, I would entertain excuse me?
38 is that one. And then let's go ahead and add landscape requirements, since I was talking to the gentleman earlier, and I'm not going to pronounce his name. Let's talk about section 37, landscape requirements. Let's add that as well.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Well, have a good evening.
I'm entertaining.
Sorry, I'm already done.
I have a motion to adjourn from Christie Narron. And I have a second from Robert Coleman. Okay, we'll run down our line again. Steve Knight, yay. Ashley Majors,
Yay.
Christy Narron,
Yay.
Thomas Cannon,
Yay.
Robert Coleman.
Yay.
We are adjourned. It is 8:04 p.m. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Thanks for your input.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night. Thank you all.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Right.